Hello. Shooting a video here of my game room. I've made some updates recently. Kind of the centerpiece of my game room are these Ferrari, built by Sega, Ferrari F355 Challenge simulators. And these are actually true driving simulators. They were built in 1999, so they are 20 years old. But even today, they're pretty amazing. The quality, the build quality, and actually the simulation quality. They used three 27-inch CRT monitors. These are real CRTs like old TVs. They're not LCD. Has force feedback steering, and that steering, it's amazing. It's amazing the response you get from it. There's a huge electric motor built behind the cabinet that actually provides the force feedback. It has the traditional clunky 6-speed shifter. It's just like a real Ferrari. It feels the same. I've driven the 355 and it feels just like it. Has high quality pedals that are very realistic. They have the right feel also. Really built well. Has a subwoofer behind the seat and speakers right next to your ears. The sound effects are pretty amazing. So what's neat about these machines is they're an actual Ferrari licensed product. So you're actually getting a Ferrari licensed product. Some of the earlier games Yu Suzuki did, I can't remember, not Cruisin' USA, but it'll come to me if I think about it. He does a car that looks like a Ferrari, but it's not a Ferrari. This one here is actual, this is first person when you drive it. So when you drive this car, it's like you're sitting in the vehicle, not the overhead view. So really amazing. But what makes these special is these are linked together. You can see the cables there. Those are TOS link cables, optical cables that you would use like on your home stereo system. And it links these two together so you can two people can race each other. And I think you can actually if you have 8 of these, you could link up to 8 of them together. It's either 4 or 8, I'm not sure, but these are very rare because these were only built initially as a single-person game simulator, and then they made it to where they could be linked together. So finding a pair of these that are linked is quite amazing, and especially in the shape. The previous owner took really good care of them. They have very little use. I took the monitors all apart and cleaned them, the CRTs anyway, cleaned them, took the shifters out and adjusted them properly. I greased them properly, took the pedals out, greased them properly. There's settings and maintenance on these games that a lot of people don't do. These were pretty good. I also replaced these tail light bulbs with LED bulbs just to be easier on the power supply and less heat, and I guess it saves a little energy too, even though those big old CRTs suck a lot of power. What's kind of neat is the brake lights actually do work. When you hit the brake, the lights come on. So it's a pretty neat game. It sounds really awesome, and it's really fun to play, and it's very, very realistic. It's not a normal driving game where you can cheat and win. You actually you have to drive this like the real car. So those are neat. Again, those are 1999 machines. That's some of the newest things I have right now. So 20 years old is new in the video game world, I guess. Going back a little bit, this is an Asteroids. This is 1979 Atari. And Asteroids is really, in my opinion, probably one of the first commercial successes in a video game. I believe they built over 50,000 of these. Prior to this, they built Lunar Lander, which they only did about 4,000, and they switched to Asteroids. A lot of Lunar Landers never got finished because Asteroids was such a big hit. This is a cocktail model. Some people don't like the cocktail games. I kind of like having it because you can sit down, have a drink, and play someone, and when player 2 comes up, the screen will actually flip around, and player 2 gets to play. So it's kind of a neat classic game. This is what we call a vector game. This has a special monitor in it and CPU that draws the graphics by drawing lines. In other words, those graphics are made by XY drawing lines, and so it was an interesting way. It's kind of a neat display to see. It's pretty intense. I really like it. But Asteroids is a classic. Everyone needs an Asteroid, so I have one of them. The same person, well, let me go back to this. This is a 1976 Midway Seawolf. And this one's interesting because this came from Cedar Point Arcade. It was in their arcade since 1976. Cedar Point's an amusement park in Sandusky, Ohio. I actually bought 9 of their games, one of them being Lunar Lander, which I just sold, but I'm going to keep Seawolf. I'm waiting for some boards. I sent some boards out to be repaired. Gentleman on the East Coast is repairing them. But this is a classic game. It really is cool. This is, has a real working periscope, and the monitor is actually built down and it sits horizontal, flat down here, and it uses a mirror to project an image. It was actually a pretty advanced game for 1976, and I really like this one. I like that it came from Cedar Point also as an original machine, and as you can see, I have my tools down there ready to work on it. Pinball, I used to have a lot of pinballs. I'm down to 2. I'd actually like to get some more. This is a Monopoly, which is kind of a neat game. This is 2001 Stern. This one's kind of unique because this is a Platinum model. The Platinum models were a little different, mostly just cosmetic. The lockdown bar, legs, side rails, all chrome. Has chrome T molding. They did... really nothing else. There is a different translite. I have, this is the regular translite, but I have another translite that is signed by Gary Stern. And who else produced this machine? It was Pat Lauer. It's Pat Lauer, Gary Stern, I forget who else, but they all signed the translite, which I have. It also comes with a plaque. They only built 40 of this model, and it was for charity. They sold them on eBay for charity. And so I got this one from the same guy that had the Ferrari games, and it's in impeccable condition. I put all LED bulbs in it again to reduce power. They're brighter, and I just think it looks better. Also put in some green, well, they're actually a color one, the color changing speaker inserts there, and it has some red flipper buttons as well. And it's a good game. That's a fun family game. Anyone can play it. It's easy. My favorite pin, and I've owned this one 4 times. I'm not getting rid of this one. This is Twilight Zone 1993. This is a Williams pinball, which a lot of people say was the best pinball ever, anything Williams. But this one was actually fully restored by the Pinball Pimp. So it's really nice. Again, had a chrome treatment, chrome lockdown, chrome legs, all new art on it. Looks really nice. Color display, the DMD back there, that's color. LEDs throughout, and tastefully done too. They're done correctly. So very nice. Some of the mods too. Got the little piano mod back there. Chrome Twilight Zone overhead light. Other than that, not a whole bunch mod-wise. It's tastefully done. But this machine's about as nice as you get, and they're not real rare. I think there was maybe 11 or 12,000 of these made, but it's rare to find really, really nice ones. And the prices just keep going up on Twilight Zone. It's not real probable that'll ever be remade, like Attack from Mars and some of the other games, Medieval Madness, that have been remade. So that's a pretty neat game. I don't think I'll ever get rid of that one. Other than that, got a little sauna in here. That's nice way to relax after you play some games. A little infrared sauna. Pretty much out of room until I move some more stuff around. This is also my workshop, so I got things in the way here and there. But again, the Segas are a lot of fun, the F355s. And then last, it's not in my game room, it's just outside, is a 1978 Atari Football. And this is a neat game. It's technically a cocktail, but it sits higher. You stand up and play it. This is a lot of fun. This is a very brutal game. It'll beat you up. These trackballs, you have to move them very fast to play, and you can select 4 different plays, offense or defense. And again, I restored this one. I repainted the CPUs, rebuilt the trackballs. That's quite a difficult job actually. There's bearings and rollers in here, and it's tricky to get them set right. But once you get them right, they roll real buttery smooth. Had the monitor rebuilt. It's original CRT, but I actually had the monitor boards rebuilt by ArcadeCup.com. They took care of that. It's got the original owl eye coin door. I have a new sticker to go on the side. There's supposed to be a football player on here. I just haven't put it on yet. But this game's actually a lot of fun when we have people over. This gets a lot of attention, and it'll literally make your hands bleed. Though it's a brutal game to play. So, again, 1978 Atari football. So all these work. I'm very particular about the games that everything has to work on them, down to the last light bulb. If there's a light bulb burnout, I fix them. That's just the way I am, and I keep everything as clean as they can be, almost like new. But if you ever wanted to get into arcade games, it's a lot of fun right now. The internet has made a lot of opportunity to see what's out there, and there's a lot of help out there as far as repairing them. These games are getting pretty old. Some of them back, into the 50s and 60s even. But even some of these video games that were considered new not long ago are 20, 25 years old. So they do take a little maintenance, but they're a lot of fun. And when you have people over, everyone gets a kick out of them. So hope you enjoyed that. And if you have any questions, just ask, and I'll be happy to answer them.